Hello and welcome to the Destination Sailing channel.
I'm Carla.
And I'm Simon.
And we are from the YouTube sailing channel Sailing Ocean Thoughts.
Over the past 3 years we've sailed over 25,000 miles on our catamaran through the Mediterranean, across the Atlantic and the Caribbean.
In this series we will be looking at some of our favorite islands, towns and remote cays we have visited during our adventure.
This will give you a fresh insight on your next destination, what to expect on arrival, places to stay, things to do and how to find those all-important provisions, from propane to bananas.
So let's start with this week's location, which is Las Palmas.
Yes, and Las Palmas on Grand Canary. We last visited in autumn 2018, just before we crossed the Atlantic.
Yes, it is such a great place to do everything you need to do before you cross the Atlantic.
It's absolutely the gateway to your Atlantic crossing, and it really is the place that a lot of people go to do any refitting that's needed to the boat.
Provision, it's amazing. Provision.
Everything you want, you can get there, really,
yes,
can't you?
Everything.
And it's all easily available.
Yeah.
The island is one of the most southerly islands in the Canary archipelago, and it's around about 110 miles off the Moroccan coast, heading west, and just over 600 miles from Portugal.
It covers an area of 600 square miles, home to 850,000 people. 400,000 live in the capital, which is the 5th largest city in Spain, the joint capital of the islands with Tenerife.
Yeah. The highest point on the island is 6,417 feet, which is basically the fact that it is a volcano.
Which is the Morro de la Agbalajea.
You say these things so well because of your so moving on to COVID, there's bound to be COVID restrictions at the present time, and they are forever changing down there. So would you please check out Noonside and any other websites that you may need to go to. The weather in Grand Canary is actually considered to be a desert climate. It's actually very, very dry. The wettest months are November to February. But actually during the season the temperatures climb well over 30 degrees.
But it's a great weather, isn't it? Because we were there for nearly 2.5 months.
Yep.
And we were in shorts and t-shirts.
We're in shorts and t-shirts all year round.
Yeah.
And actually it's much warmer down south than where we were in Las Palmas, which is actually in the north of the island, because of the way the wind blows over the top. But having said that, it was really very, very good. Yeah, it was very good. Lovely place. The currency is the euro, and it is actually a VAT-free zone, but they do have their own sales tax, which is typically around about 5%. So you do get a bit of an advantage compared with the rest of Europe, but I'm sure they add a little bit on to compensate for that. I do remember red wine being particularly cheap there, though.
Yeah, very cheap.
Very cheap, yeah. There is a big navigational warning at the present time if you're arriving in Las Palmas, because they're extending the outer breakwater to the harbour, the main harbour, not the marina, by 400 metres. So they've positioned a starboard side buoy 500 metres south of the existing breakwater. So you have to round that to starboard. If you have any questions or queries, you can call Port Control on VHF channel 16 or channel 10.
It is part of the Schengen.
Yes, unfortunately, yet again, we have got another Schengen country. Yeah. That affects us as Brits as well now, doesn't it? And we're discovering how difficult that is. Yeah. If you are a European vessel, you can check in the Marina in Las Palmas. Otherwise, there are other facilities in the main harbour, and you do have to search them out a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because we went there because when we were leaving, we had 2 American crew on board, and so they actually had to get their passport stamped. So therefore, you had to actually go on the port side of the dock, if you understand what I mean, not port left but port water.
And everything is a bit distant, isn't it? So we had to walk back and forth until we find the right...
But she was very helpful when we got there.
Yes,
now,
absolutely.
If you happen to be there during the period of the arc, you will find a couple of terrapin buildings put up just in the main street.
Just in the marina,
Yeah, and you will be able to do customs and immigration there. It's all laid on or whatever. So the main marina is Marina Las Palmas. And what a mighty marina this is. This is huge, right? It's got well over 1,300 berths. and it can take vessels from 6 to 50 meters. And it is absolutely quite staggering. It's very good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very good, very cheap.
Very cheap.
We paid very little for our boat.
Yeah, a typical 45 footer is around about €11 a night. I can't remember. I think they added 20% on or something.
It's not
for a cat,
much, yeah.
but it wasn't that much.
No, it wasn't that much.
And we were in that marina for good month.
Over a month.
Over a month.
Yes. Because they wouldn't let us go in until the Ark leaves.
No, that's right. We're going to talk about the Ark in a minute. The Atlantic Rally for cruisers. Fuel is available in the marina. Propane is also available at one of the chandlery outlets or at the main marina building. And there is a gas depot around about 10 miles south of Las Palmas. It's a couple of bus rides away, but it's called DISA. You could look it up, DISA gas. And he will fill any type of propane cylinder apart from the standard European camping gas cylinder. He won't fill those because I took 2 of them there and it took me a long time to get there, and then he went, nope, I won't fill them. No good at all. But the normal, anything else, he'll fill. And it is relatively cheap speaking. So we're just going to cover over supermarkets. Wow, they are big.
They are big. They have a smaller one, which is a Superdino, which is one of their brands. Just walking by the marina, like 10 minutes away from the marina, really easy. They have almost everything. If you want just to provision your boat from that supermarket, it's good enough.
And the supermarkets will deliver to your boat.
They all deliver to your boat. And if you want the hypermarkets, the big ones, they have all the European brands there. But you have to take a bus drive to go, which is not too far.
No, actually, the buses are really good.
Are amazing, super good, and very cheap too.
What we used to do is walk along the seafront, and after about 10 or 15 minutes walk on the other side of the road, there's the bus depot. And then I think you got the blue bus from there, because there's 2 types of bus, the yellow bus and the blue bus, isn't there?
So get the blue bus, then you, from the end, the bus stop, you had the yellow bus. And then you go to the supermarket, and then you find Ocean, Carrefour, you find all the big brands, and they will deliver to your boat too. So it's amazing because you just go and then you just buy those huge amounts of stuff that you do for Atlantic crossing.
Absolutely.
And prepare your boat for the Caribbean.
And please make sure you've got adequate beer and wine on board. This is really essential because you'll be paying something in the region of 50 cents for a tin of beer.
And he talks someone who bought 200 bottles of wine.
And I was paying under €2 for a bottle of wine, and that is going to go up tenfold by the time you hit the Caribbean. So if you just think about that, you realise that it is really worth stocking up as much as possible. Chandlery is excellent.
It's the world of the chandleries.
Yeah, it really is. So you've got the main marina, and then there's a road that runs along the front of the marina with shops, bars and restaurants, and that's where you'll find loads of chandlery, sail makers, canvas makers,
everything
riggers,
you need for the boat, really.
Ropes, absolutely everything. Roll Nautic is the largest chandlery, and to be fair to them, they are very, very good.
They are. They do all the jobs they really need to do. It's not overpriced. It's not very cheap, but it's not overpriced. It's
not overpriced. No. And they've got things like electricians and riggers and all
everything you need.
Yamaha dealers there, Volvo dealers, all that sort of thing. And if you need, like we did, a new rib. We've had a new Highfield when we were down there. Allo Nautica, if I got that right.
Allo Nautica.
They specialise in providing ribs and outboards.
They are amazing.
They are very good.
Really nice guys, and they will do anything you need for your, to get to the rib, to get an outboard, anything you need, they will do it.
Really very good. Now, there's also a hardware store close by, which I found to be very cheap and very good. So you kind of walk to the south end of the marina, through the tunnel, which you will find, turn left, and about 100 yards down there on the left-hand side is commercial Sid Las
It doesn't look very big when you go in, but then you have stairs to go down, and basement is just huge.
And they've got a little bit of chandlery in there, but basically they're a hardware store, a real hardware store, and you can buy tools, you can buy foam, you can buy canvas, you can buy rope, almost anything. So that will be my first stop. There's also, when you go down to the big hypermarkets, there's also the big Leroy Marling and those sort of things, which are the big DIY stores. There's an IKEA down there as well, don't there? Need some bed linen. So actually at the marina there is a small boatyard. When I say small, it's got a 65-ton lift and it can take up to around about 82-foot yacht. But it's storage ashore, which is very small. I mean, they can probably get around about 20 or 30 boats in their yard, and that is absolutely rammed in. So if you've got any thought of having a boat out there, really do book that in. If you've got a cat,
you are in trouble.
You're in trouble. You are in trouble.
We were in trouble.
Yeah, we were in big trouble there. We tried everything. We went to the Rio Club Nautico, which is just north of the marina. But basically, they won't deal with you unless it's an emergency or you are a member. And also, there is Pasito, is that correct? Blanco?
Pasito Blanco?
Blanco on the south coast of the island. They've got a 70-ton lift at the marina there, but there again it's not wide enough to take a cat. So if you've got a cat, you've really got to get it dealt with either in Tenerife or up in Lanzarote.
Yeah.
And we tried everything. Because they've got an enormous slipway in the marina. All we wanted to do was to take the boat there, dry it out, clean the bottom, and put a coat of anti-fouling on.
It was a mess.
Yeah, it was a terrible upset about that, because basically what it comes down to is the local boats can use it, but the cruisers
visitors
can't.
No,
that's basically what it comes down to. So let's move on to the Ark and have a little bit of discussion about the Ark, because this is the Ark.
That's where the Ark departs from the Atlantic crossing.
Yeah.
And it is amazing, isn't it?
It really is. It all sort of builds up in around about middle of October. So a lot of people that have a berth in the marina have to move out.
Yeah.
So because the Ark,
even the local ones in the boats that they have an annual contract, they have to move out for the Ark to come in.
Now, if you aren't in the Ark, you won't get in the marina until the Ark has left. But just literally to the north of the breakwater, there's like a square bay with a big beach, and everybody goes and anchors up in there.
Yeah.
We were in there for a good month, weren't we?
Yeah.
The holding's very good, but it gets very, very tight with boats, and eventually we managed to get some lines ashore and kind of pulled ourselves in a row along the actual harbour wall, which was a lot more successful.
Yeah.
But that does get rather
It's a good anchorage. It's just because it's too many boats, so it gets a little tight sometimes. But it's good.
If you're going on the Ark, either on down to Cape Verde or across the Atlantic, it is absolutely fantastic atmosphere.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of sort of bunting and things going on, and activities,
workshops and seminars and everything. So you can feel the whole atmosphere, even if you're not going with the Ark, you can feel everything. Yeah. So it's really nice.
Now, if you're not going on the Ark and you want to get in the marina, make sure you go to the marina around about 2 weeks before the Ark leaves and get your name on the list, because they're going to call you in on the list as you register.
It's quite funny because as soon as the Ark leaves, literally leaves, the marina, and they start calling you in, and then you just hoping for your boat
to get the call and get in there and get a berth, because you've probably been banging around out in the anchorage for the last 2 weeks or something. But the atmosphere is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. One thing you can't miss is the Sailors Bay Bar.
Yes, it's where all the sailors meet and exchange information, where you could find your crew, because Las Palmas is an amazing place to find your crew.
You will find every type of crew hanging around trying to get a berth.
If you're not sure if you have a crew or you don't know which type of crew you want, you're gonna find all types of people that you can interview and try to find the one that matches better with you.
So that's it's interesting, because some of them are really just boat hikers, aren't they? They're just trying to get a lift across the Atlantic. But then other people,
but some of them they
are actually experienced.
Yes. So you're gonna find don't worry if you want to get crew on the way, don't worry, because you will find that you will have like 20 people knocking on your boat every single day.
Just other things which are available in Las Palmas, because it is a really good city, is things like there's the vet over the road, there's pharmacies over the road.
And there's a good thing about the pharmacies is that because while the Ark is there, you can buy antibiotics.
Just tell them
without prescription.
Just tell them that you're.
It's terrible to say, but
with the regatta.
But you just want to have some on the boat in case something happens, isn't it? So you kind of can do that, and it's not expensive at all.
No. Las Palmas is a big city. It does have quite a lot of rather beautiful old buildings and things like that. They do have an area which they refer to as the Old Town. And there, I think, is it a Thursday night, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, Thursday nights, unless they changed. They have a tapas night, which every restaurant on the Old Town, on those roads, they put their stands outside with tapas. So you just buy a few from one restaurant, a few from another, and drinks, and then you go on the road just like that, isn't it?
It's all rather nice, actually. It's
a very nice atmosphere,
yeah.
because all the Spanish do that everywhere. So it's kind of a mix with the sailors. It's really nice.
Las Palmas has fantastic beaches.
Yes, it does.
It does. It's got kind of beaches on the west side and on the east side of the island. The ones on the western side are obviously a lot rougher than the ones on the east, because that's the prevailing weather. Las Palmas is a fantastic place to get your boat ready.
It's great. It's great. It's a great place to do all the jobs you need to do on the boat, because you have all the facilities.
Great place to sort of service your winches, service your engines, get any sail repairs done, and really get your boat in as good a shape as you possibly can. Because we found that helped mentally
prepared for you to cross the Atlantic, because it gives you more confidence, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It really helped us, especially because we had a bad journey going from Portugal to there. So it really helped us. It was really good.
And another thing that you can get there is there's loads of fishing gear, isn't there? Absolutely, tons of fishing gear.
So because you're going to need those.
You're going to need it. Grand Canary has an international airport with flight connections all over Europe. Absolutely fantastic airport. And also you can get a ferry to mainland Spain if you want to take your car there.
So thank you very much for listening to our channel.
Just a reminder that you can see our adventure on YouTube at Sailing Ocean Fox.
And they are episodes 36 to 42. And I'll put the link in the description below.
So next week we're off to Grand Cayman.
The lovely Grand Cayman.
Absolutely fantastic island. We were there about a year ago and thoroughly enjoyed ourselves.
Absolutely.
Didn't we? Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Fantastic for diving and beautiful clear water.
Yes.
Not to be missed.
No.
So this was Simon and Carla from Sailing Ocean Fox. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.